Let's go to Boulder, Colorado for a moment. And there are a couple of layers to this, right? So Colorado plays their spring game this past Saturday. You may have seen the one over the other video of last year's spring game where there were tens of people in the stands with like the scrolling video, and then this year's where there were 47,000 people, 47,000 tickets distributed for that game. So it was cool. They got like 4 inches of snow the night before. They cleared the field the morning of the game of snow for the spring game. Man, if Deion can overcome that from a recruiting standpoint, more power to you, my man. I heard somebody say, look, I think Ronnie Jones was talking about it. He was like, man, snow in November, December, January, February, maybe even early March, yeah. But you're recruiting me out of Florida or Georgia, and it snowed at the end of April? Sorry, that's a non-starter for me. But the biggest story surrounding Colorado football is the transfer portal exodus. 18 players this week post-spring have entered the transfer portal. Of the 84 players that were on the roster week 1 last year, 64 are gone.
64 of 84 players that were on the roster when they started last season are no longer on the roster. 64.
On the roster of a 1-11 football team, mind you. 1-11. They were bad. Deion said when he came in, Coach Prime said when he came in, they were going to change it, told guys to get in the transfer portal. If you don't like it, leave, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. It was clear watching, if you watched part of the spring game with Colorado, there's a ton of excitement. A lot of juice. Deion Sanders is going to get players, but they're still going to be bad this year. If Colorado manages to go 6-6 this year, that's almost a miracle coaching job by Deion Sanders. Yeah. If they are bowl eligible.
I think 10 Power 5 games on that schedule, too. I know it's the Pac-12, but still.
Yeah, but I mean...
They opened the season with TCU.
I was going to say, you get TCU in the non-conference. It's going to be a different look, TCU, but I mean, that's a pretty good coaching staff.
Yeah.
TCU, rivalry game with Colorado State, Southern Cal, good luck with that. Stanford, Oregon State. I guess I'm not doing this in order. Let's see here. TCU, Nebraska in week 2. Matt Rule's Nebraska team. A little spicy with some of the things that he said in the offseason. Yeah. Colorado State and Colorado. I don't know if that one's usually in Denver. I don't know if they've taken it back to campus or not. All right, here are the Pac-12 games. Oregon, loss. Southern Cal, loss. Arizona State, on the road, maybe. Stanford at home, maybe. At UCLA, loss. Oregon State, loss. Arizona, maybe. Washington State, probably a loss. Utah, on the road. That's a loss. I mean, it's 4-8. So here's my question. He's transforming the roster. I know they're bringing a ton of guys in. Can they withstand a 3-9, 4-8, 5-7, and maintain transfer portal / recruiting momentum?
After 1 year, yes.
Okay.
Multiple years, then it starts getting
dicey.
Because he was getting players at Jackson State who don't even play in the FCS playoffs. So if he can do that there, I'm still blown away. And I guess people shouldn't be surprised because in his opening press conference, he told the players to transfer and he's bringing his own luggage and it's Louis or whatever. But bad team last year. That doesn't mean all 84 players were bad, though. You know what I mean? It's just because the team was bad doesn't mean every single player on the team was bad. And you've lost your entire wide receiver room. Like guys that were pretty good last year. Linebackers that have had a bunch of tackles and starts in their career. You would think some continuity.
Two wide receivers, the leading receptions guy and the leading yardage guy.
Gone.
Both transfer out.
And you're telling me that you can't use those guys? You really can't use those guys? If you look
so let me ask you this. Do you think everybody that has got all 64 players that have gotten in the transfer portal since he got the job in December have been pushed out?
No.
No. So,
but
there are lots of reasons to transfer, but are there other things going on that are causing guys to leave that maybe they would prefer not leave? Now, they're going to publicly make it sound like everybody that left they wanted gone because they're remaking the roster.
Yeah. Right. But, yeah, there are going to be some guys they'd like to keep, but, I mean, you're part of a team. A lot of those, those guys are your friends, and all of a sudden you look around and you got no friends left in the locker room. Maybe it's just like, you know what? I need a fresh start. I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
Wonder if
can't blame anybody for that.
Treatment is a possibility.
Could be an issue.
The thing about the preferential treatment, in fairness, Shedeur Sanders is good. He's good.
He's a good player.
So, sports.